All right, welcome back to Recruiting is No Joke Live. We are live at RecFest 2025. We're pumped to be here. I want to give a special shout out to Basic Capital for making this podcast episode possible. I got another really exciting guest. So I always start off the podcast by asking, who are you, what do you do, and who do you do it for?
Well, Joel, thanks for having me. Kearstin McGinnis. I oversee recruitment for a GovCon, IT government contractor called TekSynap out in the DC area, but we are nationwide and in 5 countries, so we are keeping busy.
Amazing. All right, and this is your first time at RecFest?
No, I've been here all 3 years.
You've been here all 3 years?
I'm a veteran.
Okay.
I am a veteran.
So now this is good. This is good because I get a lot of first timers. So
Okay.
how has the event changed? Like, what have you seen as like the biggest change from like year one to now?
The growth,
Yeah.
just the growth in attendance, the growth in the extra, I call it all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
The content, it's changed.
Just all AI now.
It's all AI, but there's all an AI component, it seems like. But
Yeah.
it's the growth has just been exciting for Jamie and team.
Yeah, I love it. And I know obviously there is a lot of AI vendors out there. What are you excited about? What are the things that you're seeing work with your team? How are you implementing AI into what you do? And, is there anything that's kind of caught your eye as you've been looking around and, maybe not specific vendors, but just things that they're doing and things they're up to?
Sure. We are in the infancy phase.
Yeah.
Even as a tech company on the recruiting side, we're in the infancy phase. So for me, my goal just today was to sit into sessions of people that have implemented it
Yeah.
and the steps that they took to get from zero usage to how quick can we get to fully implementing it into practices that make sense within our processes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the big piece, right? You got to know your own process, know how you can implement AI in. And like you said, it is infancy. Is there anything that surprised you about any of the vendors or anything that you've seen where you're like, all right, you know what, I could implement that into my process?
The interviewing scares me a little bit.
Okay.
But now is the time to ask those questions, to have the conversations, to see if it's something for certain positions, certain contracts, certain customers, or certain recruiters that we might be able to take that from not doing it to, is it something we can entertain?
Yeah.
And more importantly, will our customer, the candidate, how will they feel about that? Because we're in the GovCon space. It's cleared work, and it's a little different than service industry or something else.
Yeah, I mean, super niche. You're probably relying a lot on referrals, network, and who you know. So how important it is for you then in your process to really kind of keep that human, that candidate experience in there?
So important. So important. We want them to know that they're talking to a person. We try to build those relationships, and because it takes time, it might take 2, 3, 4 emails or phone calls before they pick up the phone or respond to that email. And by then, we want to have known them as a person.
Yeah.
So, and we want them to know us as a company, as well as the recruiter that they're working with.
Yeah.
A lot of our relationships start from just a resume on, name a job board, and then continue after they've been hired, or even months after they have that first conversation where they return back to us and say, hey, I'm ready for a move within the company, or I think I'm ready to go here. How do I get there? Or, hey, we had a conversation 6 months ago.
Yeah.
What do you have for me? Do you have something that might align?
What's because it's been coming up a lot. Obviously, it's easier right now to send messages. It's easier to DM people. It's easier to put out content. What do you think the key is to really keeping those relationships going? And like, how do you kind of train your team, or how do you kind of keep relationships going long term and kind of balance, those volume of messages that you have to send out to how you nurture relationships? Like, what's the key to that in terms of just building relationships?
Finding that relationship to nurture, because you want to nurture them all. You absolutely want to nurture them all, and there are ways that you can do that.
Yeah.
But for us, it's find the candidates that you've connected with, and then figure out how you're going to nurture them. Which way do they want to be nurtured? Rather, find out how you're going to do that. It could be phone calls, it could be emails, it could be text messages. Just simple, hey, just thinking about you. How's your week been?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot sliding into the DMs, and that is such a foreign term for me to use in recruitment. But it makes sense. You have to go to where the candidate's at. You can't wait for the candidate to come to you, and you have to meet them where they're at. if they want the text message, give them the text message. If they want the email, send the email.
Yeah.
They want to meet in person. We encourage that. It's rare that we get to do that nowadays because of just where my recruiters are at and where our candidates are at. But if we can make it happen, we want to.
Yeah, it's funny because I've seen a lot of content recently around Gen Z, maybe like Gen A, I guess they're predicting like almost like unplugging and kind of getting away from emails and social media. And, I think a lot of people are predicting that's going to be a push away from that. Mm-hmm. Is there a world that you could see recruiting being more like going to events and meeting people? I guess how do you kind of play that into your strategy as well?
I wish there was someone with early careers sitting here because I would love to know what they're seeing. But having a 21-year-old myself, I see the same thing. She used to be very much into social media, and now it's text messaging.
Okay.
Don't email her.
Yeah.
Don't email her. Like, she might email me and then say, Mom, why haven't you responded in 5 minutes? But, I wish I knew what the next thing was going to be. People said TikTok for a really long time, and that's social media. It's not where we're going to be. Maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a blog that we set up. I'm not sure yet.
How do you, obviously there's a lot of noise out there like we were just discussing. How do you kind of coach recruiters on how to stand out from that noise? So you're reaching out to a candidate that doesn't know you. What are the kind of things that you do to stand out and just really kind of look different from everybody else that's reaching out?
Yeah. Set yourself apart and do your homework. Don't send the if you will, the AI email, the one that gets generated for you. For you. Yes, that's easy.
The personalized message.
Take it, because it's going to still save you time, but still personalize it a little bit more. Figure out where that person's at. Where did they go to school? Do you have a connection there? Did you see them post something via LinkedIn or another platform that might intrigue them? Everyone has their own flavor to that. I get personal. Yes, I get personal in email, or I get personal in my messages, but not too personal, right? And then highlight what the why behind your reaching out to them. It's so important. Like why me, or why you, and why they should choose us or TekSynap or that position, or even pick up the phone or have a conversation and build that connection rate. We have a new platform, and I've been watching the response rate, and we're at about 50 to 75% on responses on this new platform. And I think it has a lot to do with just taking the time after the sourcing piece to really personalize that message.
It's really interesting because I know a lot of tools that I've seen out there promise the personalization, and usually it's been boiled down to past companies you've worked with or something from a profile. What tips would you have for people on like really, how to do that research, and like how long should they spend? Like where do you usually just go to a LinkedIn profile? Like what's your advice for people on like how to dig a little bit deeper, and like what's that approach while still keeping it somewhat scalable so you can kind of keep that volume up?
Company is great, of course, because that's what the personalized message does. If you're on LinkedIn, where have they posted? What have they liked?
Yeah.
Do you have a group? Because you can normally see that in some of the profiles very quickly. Do you have a group that you're connected to, and maybe you saw something that they may have been interested, or they may be interested in from that particular group?
Are you finding people are more engaged now on LinkedIn than maybe before, or you kind of see it down? Like what's that been like?
Yes and no. The collective we on the team, we use it more as when they haven't reached out to us through another point of contact or another 2 points of contact. A lot of our recruiters are using LinkedIn as that third point, and that's where they're getting the connection, because now the name's not foreign to them, or the company's not foreign to them.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. So third year at RecFest.
Yeah.
For people who aren't used to going to conferences, or maybe they're considering going to RecFest next year, what's your approach to making it a successful conference, and like what makes a successful conference for you just as an attendee?
As an attendee, yeah, absolutely, great question. Look at the schedule, look at who's going to be there, and map it out. If you're trying to do that day of, you're going to miss opportunities.
Yeah.
So take the time to look at the schedule, map out who you want to see, map out what booths you want to visit, and kind of get your game plan so that you're stuck in the moment. not the phone or the map, and trying to figure out where you're going to go.
That happened to me today.
No.
I got lost.
You got lost. Well,
Walked around in a circle and started sweating.
No, it's 2:35 Nashville time, and I just realized there's a fourth stage right here. I couldn't find it, so I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah. And then like to walk away from it, you can be so overwhelmed after 2 days.
Yeah.
But I used to pick 5 things that I wanted to do or implement as I got back, or take a deeper dive into. And then I heard another session today. She said, pick just 3. You're going to accomplish 3. And I was like, that makes sense. Normally I get to 4. Sometimes I get to the 5th, but I always get to 3.
Well, what advice in terms of like maximizing those connections as well, right? Because you mentioned like there's so many people, like you get overwhelmed easily. So do you have like a way to connect during the conference, and then like what's your kind of game plan afterward, or like how do you kind of keep those conversations going?
Yep. So when I sit in a session, I'm connecting with someone on LinkedIn and sending them a message immediately about something I saw in their presentation.
Yeah.
Because that reminds me what I heard, especially if I'm still doing that messaging through LinkedIn. And in some cases, you're exchanging phone numbers, you might be exchanging emails, but setting that time to make sure that you connect within the next probably 7 to 14 days. Let it all digest,
Keep that
and then
that momentum
Yep.
going. Yeah, it's true. Like I know for me, like my first conference in person was like 3 years ago at RecFest. So that was the first one I went, and I remember that's how it was. It was like you're overwhelmed. There's a lot of people. And just even taking that time after each day to decompress and look at, okay, what have I learned? What have I taken away? Who did I meet that was impactful? And then just making sure that you follow up. Otherwise, I think you just, you can get lost in there. What about with vendors? Like, what are the things that you're looking at, like when you go to an event? Because obviously, I think they got over 100 vendor sponsors, which is huge, which is awesome.
It's great.
But like, what are the types of things that you look for? In choosing a vendor, or like where to spend time, and like how do you kind of decipher between what each vendor is doing to really figure out like, what solution's going to work for you?
Sure. So last year we thought we were going to be shopping for an ATS, so that's where I focused. I want to talk to the ATSs that were present. This year I took a little bit of a different approach, and it's what do we not have? Because the moment you need it, you have a lot of homework ahead of you to get from point A to point B, and then you have approval and then implementation. So this year it's what do we not have? And just go in with an inquisitive mind.
I know you're working with like your internal tech team as well to kind of get an idea of what needs they have, or like how does that work internally with the company?
Yeah, a lot of collaboration there. A lot of collaboration with our IT team, with HR, of course. And then this year to RecFest, we brought 2 members of our marketing team.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so much that they can take from this. So it's collaboration with them of, hey, I saw this vendor on the list. I would love for you just to go to have a conversation and see if it's something that makes sense. I sent them over to another booth to say, look at that setup. Like, we've been doing some things with a lot of video and audio equipment. And I was like, oh, you're going to love that.
Yeah. Are you doing a lot of content within their recruitment process as well, or?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So coming.
We're getting there. We do a monthly Teams chat, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think we can expand on it from there, but it's coming.
I love it.
Coming, yeah.
So where's the best place for people to connect with you? So anyone who's listening, they want to connect with you, where's the best place?
Absolutely. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I am the only Kearstin McGinnis on LinkedIn, so I'm very, very, very easy to find.
Yeah, if you can't find it, you are not a real recruiter.
The trick is to spell Kearstin. But that's the best place. Let me know how you found me, and would love to connect.
I love it. And are you planning on being here next year as well?
That's the plan.
Yes.
That is the plan. Travel schedule allows, absolutely.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. I hope you have a good rest of the conference. And guys, thank you for listening and tuning in. If you're listening live, it's great to be with you guys at RecFest. And if you're listening afterward, it's great to have you on the podcast as well. Recruiting is no joke. And I would give a special shout out as well to Purple Acorn and Basic Capital as well. And speaking of which, we do have a special gift from Basic Capital as well.
Gifts. Thank you.
Can't go wrong with a gift. Always remember that. Gifts are great. Thank you so much, Kearstin. It's great
Joel.
to meet, and hopefully we'll talk soon again.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.